let's take a look at diabetes. As we look at diabetes, there's different types of diabetes. There's type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and did we call them type 1 and type 2? No, we called it adult onset, and we called it juvenile diabetes. Well, why did we change that name? Well, it's because we were adult onset diabetes is what adults get, and juvenile diabetes is what juveniles get. But we started getting juveniles get adult diabetes, and that doesn't work well. You've got a child who is 16, 14, 13, 12 getting adult onset diabetes. Well, they're not adult getting an onset, so the name was changed. So what is the difference? As we look at type 1 diabetes is an issue where you're not producing the insulin. Type 2 diabetes is called insulin resistance, and that's where the body is resisting or the cells, the insulin receptors, are resisting the insulin. So let's look at some physiology and look at why does it happen, the sandpaper, and what can we do, stop doing it, and can it be reversed? Type 1 and type 2 diabetes are two different diseases, and they tell us today that if they had known back then what they know now, they wouldn't even say diabetes on both of them because they're just so different. So what's the cause? There's two major issues with, three major issues with type 2 diabetes. And here's how it works. We first have to look at normal physiology. We have cells, trillions of cells in our body. And around each cell, we have insulin receptors. And those little receptors insulin opens the receptor and allows glucose to get into the cell. And everybody's fine. And then you need more insulin, more glucose. The body has insulin open the door and let more glucose in. The problem is when the insulin receptor doesn't work right. And I found three things that causes that insulin receptor not to open right. And number one is if the cell gets too big. Have you ever in the wintertime, like right out there right now, it is cold. For several, I think it's like 3 days, we won't get above freezing at our home up in the mountain. And when it's cold, have you ever tried to open a window and it just doesn't open right? Or tried to open a door and it sticks? Well, what happens as the cell gets bigger, that receptor just doesn't open right. The second thing is it can get clogged. The insulin receptor can get clogged with fat. It's kind of like a grease trap, or something getting clogged with something. And the third reason is inflammation. Well, what do we do to fix it? Can it be fixed? Or do we just have to keep giving medicine to try to force that insulin receptor to work? It can be fixed.